the home of the NCAA Volleyball Championships. Louisville for the finals, but our regional here in Omaha and regional semis. The first set going to Nebraska. The winner of this match will face Oregon tomorrow for the right to move on to play in the national semis. Beth Mullins, along with U.S. national team head coach Karch Garai. We've touched upon some of the bad blood between these two teams after a raucous 2010 Sweet 16 matchup that Washington won, and Nebraska didn't like this call late in the fourth set.
Yeah, what happened was Nebraska trying to claw its way back into the match and force a fifth set. They thought that ball was out. Lots of people thought it was out, but referees and lines people make mistakes, and then Washington comes back 2 plays later and finishes the match. And of course, more than anything, it's just tensions run high. Nebraska's season was ended on that play. Nebraska or Washington will have their season ended tonight. And there you see the words between Cook and McLaughlin. But I think they both regret whatever happened. It detracted from their team's performances. And it's just the fact that it seems like every single time they play, the season is on the line. And they both care a lot about it. These programs are premier programs. Nebraska, as Cook calls it, is like a state monument. It's it's like the professional team of Nebraska. The women's volleyball team is one of the highly followed sports programs here in this state.
I think both coaches are much more interested in getting back to the national stage and win a national championship. Washington beat Nebraska to win the title in 2005. Nebraska came back to win a championship in 2006, and neither team has gotten one since then. And in fact, the additional pressure on a player like Lauren Cook and Hannah Worth and Gina Mancuso, these seniors have never played in the semifinals. And that's only happened to a class once in 26 years.
And 2 of those times, they beat each other up so much that whoever won in 2008, it was Nebraska. They went on to lose to Penn State. Then Washington was so frazzled after beating Nebraska, they lost the next night to Cal. So they take so much out of each other, they have nothing left to go on to that semifinal or final round. But they both want to get back there. Neither team with a title since 2006.
Back to serve for the Huskers, Gina Mancuso.
2-1 Nebraska, and Gina Mancuso back to serve. Gina, the National Player of the Year coming out of high school, and really took her a couple of seasons to find her footing. She was behind a couple of awfully good players in Hannah Worth and Tara Mueller, who has since graduated. But point Nebraska, Gina has really come into her own the last couple of seasons.
And they have a tradition, good work in transition by Hannah Worth there. They have a tradition of great outside hitters here.
Yep.
A good example of that is Jordan Larson, who was a star for them here and goes on to be a starter on the USA Olympic team that wins the silver medal just this last summer in London.
Washington also had a couple of alums on that silver medal winning team. Going outside, the Kylan Munoz missed it long. Point Nebraska.
Yep, those alums were Courtney Thompson, who led them to that 2005 victory. And there behind the server, Gina Mancuso, is the coach of Oregon, getting his team into the regional final for the first time, Jim Moore, after a nice win earlier tonight against BYU.
Coaches actually prefer that angle from the baseline, don't they, as opposed to on the side in terms of scouting purposes.
We all do. You always catch me leaning a little
You're trying to scoot around the corner.
It's just a better view of the lateral movement and the space that your offense can create, working around those 3 blockers and the spaces around them and between them.
Big night for the Ducks into the Elite Eight for the first time. Karch, are you surprised right now with the relative ease through the first set and now in the second that Nebraska is taking UW apart? And Karch will have his response when we come back to Omaha. 25-14 in the first, and now 6-1 in the second. Karch, the Huskers are really laying it on UW.
They sure are, and I knew the Huskers were a good serving team, but I didn't think they could put Washington in this much trouble. Washington is trying to do what they did all season long, pass the court with just two passers. Most teams don't do that. Strickland's having a little trouble. Orlandini's having a little trouble. Strickland just got aced. We'll see if Mancuso goes right back. I like it. If a player gets aced, you serve her again, put some pressure on her. Mancuso does not get it to her. She gets it to Orlandini instead. And the first kill this set for the Huskies against the Huskers.
4 aces for Nebraska. Washington hitting negative so far in this set, as Munoz takes it back to serve. And blisters one for the ace. That's the first of the match.
She hits her serve very hard. We call this a hybrid because it's not really, well, that was more of a true topspin, but she'll put a little bit of topspin on it, so it's slightly knuckleballs and slightly drops. Let's see how much spin she puts on this one. That one right into the net. So hers is a very high risk, high reward serve. She gets aces, but she also misses a lot. We saw her come right out of the chute in game number 1, set number 1, serving at 5 feet long. That one in the net.
On to serve now in that different colored jersey, the Libro. Laura Dykstra out of Redondo Beach, California. Couldn't pick that one up. Point Washington.
Kaylee Nelson got a little bit of a breather, coming back strong in this set number 2 with the kill for Washington.
Van Sant back to serve. 4 kills, but she's not hitting real well so far. Down to dig it up nicely is Nagaris. Back outside to Hannah Worth. 5th kill for Hannah. As you can see, she dances to the beat of her own drum. She's got the goggles. She's got the high hair with the pink bandana tonight. The younger sister of Jason Worth of the Washington Nationals. According to reports, Jason says he'll be there at the finals if his kid sis can get there. We'll have the national semis for you on ESPN2 next Thursday night. The national championship match Saturday night, December 15th. And Worth getting busy this evening. 5 kills, 6 digs. She's in the 1,000 kill and dig club for her career.
And that's a real tradition in Nebraska to have outside hitters who play the whole game. They've got 2 of them. It's not that common in this era of 15 substitutions. Haggerty just clobbering this ball right off the head of number 9 for Washington, Jenny Nagaris. But that's your first job as a defender. Get hit by the ball. She got hit in the wrong place by the ball. But if you're getting hit by the ball, you're reading the game well. You're putting yourself in a good spot. Worth with the good read there, getting hit by the ball.
Mancuso couldn't get good wood on it, but it won't matter. Free ball. Cook quickly to Haggerty into the net. Point Huskies. So Washington settling down a bit out of that timeout and working their way back into it. Katie Beals now is on, the freshman out of Austin, Texas.
When you have a good team down, you got to keep them down, and Nebraska let them off the hook with that miss into the net.
Cook goes back to Haggerty, who gets the point.
And another reason she goes there is because she has the 5'8" Cassie Strickland blocking in front of her, blocking the line. That's a good matchup for Nebraska when you have a player over 6 feet tall. There's the miss serve from Haggerty. When you have a player over 6 feet tall going against a blocker under 5'9".
Haggerty checks out with 5 kills, 4 blocks so far in the match. Cassie Strickland.
And she's missing.
Frustrating to follow up on this with another miss of your own.
Yep, she's again one of those higher risk servers. She does a true jump top spin. It's like an attack from behind the end line.
5 errors to just 1 ace behind the service line for Washington. deep by Mancuso. And one of the more unorthodox kills she's had in her spectacular 4-year career.
Yeah, I didn't really like the choice by Katie Beals to even set that. That's a really tough play and a tough angle for Kylan Munoz, number 24 for Washington, to try to attack.
Beals had to try and pull that one out of the net. The passing problems continue.
And just when Washington had pulled within 3, a couple of careless errors, and they're back down by 6.
13-7 after taking the opening set, and senior Hannah Worth trying to get another day in a Nebraska jersey.
It's not often that teams block Krista Van Zandt, and she comes up with it, and then she's been annihilating the seam. Obviously had seen something in the film about late arriving middles, and she's attacking it until they take that away.
And you see, too, just her activity out there, Karch. Obviously, she swings a pretty good ball, but the intangibles that she provides with her energy and her leadership, so critical to their postseason success.
And I like the combination. You don't want to have everybody super high energy, but you have Worth with the high energy and Mancuso with the stability and the calm and the poise, and it's a nice combination of a pair of outside hitters who are on the floor all the time. Unusual in college volleyball now.
Headstands for Little Red here in a 13-7 advantage.
Oh, my neck hurts watching that.
One of the top mascots in the nation right there. And some concern for Jim McLaughlin. Very inconsistent, as you said. The slow start, then they get back into it, and then they lose it again.
And now it's not really so much Nebraska's tough serving. It seems as though Washington's controlling that a little better. It's just a couple of careless errors, a poor decision on a set, a misconnection.
Nebraska took the opening set 25-14. Washington trying to bounce back. Melanie Wade, the freshman middle, gets the kill.
And one of the rare attacks for the middles of Washington. Wade with just her 3rd. And, of course, Gill with 0 attacks. So opposing teams get to key in other areas. And part of it is the passing of Washington has not allowed them to run the middle. Good cover by Worth. Way to be ready.
Brooke Heiss, couple of stuffs there for Washington at the net.
And that's what you'd expect from a great blocking team in Washington. That's Gill at the net. That's where they look to score more points with that NCAA leading blocker. She was involved in both those touches.
They're getting out-blocked right now. They're going to have to turn that around to get back into this thing. Lauren Cook. Back to Mancuso. Rolls it right over the top of the block.
And I like that choice. She's got a good block in front of her with Van Zandt and Gill waiting, and no libero on the floor. The middle for Washington.